y'all, I'm back with another Cephalid Breakfast video, and I have good news yet again, which is this weekend on Saturday I won another Legacy Challenge with a nearly identical list to what I won with just 2 weeks ago. And I'm really proud of this accomplishment. I think winning 2 in such a short fashion really shows the power level of this deck. I feel like I'm playing really good Magic, and it's just been a treat. I hope I can keep the run going. Some notable differences I want to bring up with this list to stuff that I played most recently is really just the sideboard. In the sideboard, I'm moving back to more permanent-based graveyard hate with a second Ghost Vacuum, and going back to my old favorite, Agatha's Soul Cauldron. This card is really good, and this card came up for me really well in the showcase, in the challenge. And actually, it could have just been a Ghost Vacuum, could have been Cauldron in that moment, but importantly, I was playing against Sultai Reanimator. I stuck a permanent graveyard hate piece and was able to really abuse that, keep them off of any cards in their graveyard, and it worked out really well. This, in addition to that, I've moved 1 prismatic ending to the main deck, and the reason for that is just to try to split those effects. It's nice to have one thing in the deck that could remove, say, a Chalice of the Void or a flipped Tamiyo, still have answers for those cards. Now, another way to answer a flipped Tamiyo is just to pressure it with a card like Nadu or Constructs. But yeah, it's been nice. It's honestly, when you make such a subtle change to your deck, it really takes a long time to notice the pros and cons of that and to really weigh that. So I'm not going to speak authoritatively about the one of prismatic ending in the main deck, but so far so good. So far, it's either been totally the same as Swords, or really, I don't think I've had a moment of incredible upside for it, but also not a lot of moments of incredible downsides. You know, a lot of the things in Legacy right now that you need to answer come out really early. And if it's something like a Murktide Regent, maybe by that time you're in a position to combo off, or you've drawn a Swords. So I'll continue to look out for whether I think a 3rd Swords would be better, but overall the list feels super clean. Obviously, you know I love 4 Tamiyo, so I'm definitely going to be carrying that forward. I did want to talk about a few things, some updates. So I have all of my stuff booked for Eternal Weekend. I'm going to be going to Pittsburgh for that, and I'm super excited. And so this next month we'll really be finalizing my list. And so if you're interested in playing Cephalid Breakfast at Eternal Weekend, then just keep following, because you'll see my journey, and hopefully that can inform you about what you want to play or not play. And so that's super exciting. In addition to that, I wanted to share some resources if you're trying to get ready for Eternal Weekend, or whatever it is that you're doing if you want to improve your breakfast gameplay. So the first thing I want to mention is just the Cephalid Breakfast Discord. If you're on Discord and you're not on the breakfast specific Discord, it's a really great place. I post in there a lot, and there's a lot of really smart folks who, honestly, a lot of them have way more experience than me with breakfast, and it's a great place to get your questions asked, get your questions answered, to bounce ideas off people, and it's been a pretty good community overall that I've been really thankful to be a part of, and it's a lot of fun. I'll put the link in the description for this video. I also get a lot of questions about sideboard guide, and I actually was working on a sideboard guide briefly, but I won't be releasing it. I'm not going to really try for that. I would really like to recommend Larson's guide that is available on Eco Baronen's Metafy account. I want to say it costs $10. I could be wrong about that. But it's a really great guide. It really discusses in detail all the matchups and a general philosophy of how to play them. Obviously, Larson and I don't play the exact same 75. I don't think he's really on 4 Tamiyo, but either through watching my videos, my gameplay, or doing a little bit of thought on your own, you know, you can pretty much use that guide and adjust it to 4 Tamiyo if you want. Really, I'll go ahead and say, I mean, I don't really take out Tamiyos unless it's like a super fast combo deck, then they all come out. You know, something like Karn Forge, something like Storm. Or if it's a deck with Karakas in it, I'd be more likely to shave it. Against lands, I usually take out 3. Against like some control deck with Karakas, I might shave 1 or maybe none. So it really just depends. You know, Breakfast is a deck where if you're keeping in all your combo pieces, you can't really sideboard out that much, or you can't really afford to bring in that much. And then if you do side out your combo, well, you have to keep some cards in, and having 4 Tamiyo actually really helps to facilitate the combo board out game plan. So I would definitely recommend that guide if you haven't purchased that, if you haven't seen that. It's really good information, and I've used it myself. I really like it, so I would definitely recommend that. Lastly, even though I'm not offering a guide, I don't have Patreon, any of that. You know, if you do want to support my content, really the things that you can do is just the stuff that any YouTuber would ask. If you can subscribe, that'd be amazing. If you can drop a comment, that's honestly the thing that I like the most, is engaging with people in the comments. A lot of people ask really good questions, bring up really good points, point out my mistakes, and I really like having that discourse with people. So I find it very motivating to have good comments, and if you want to help out with that, then please do. So sadly for this video, I don't have the gameplay for the challenge. I'm just going to be running a league. Hopefully Magic Online will fix that eventually, because it is nice to be able to look back at your matches. But I'm going to run this deck back for a league, and let's hope it goes as well as it did yesterday. All right, I'm on the play in match number 1. Yeah, this hand seems good. Got a turn 2. Obviously, this is a hand where you can see how brutal a Thoughtseize would be. But as it stands, I like being able to put a win on the stack turn 2. And if it's a deck that can't really interact with that in a meaningful way, then this will be very strong. My opponent says they love my videos. Thank you. Well, they know I'm up to no good then. Alright, Forest Go could mean crop rotation. Go to combat. 7-card hand Forest Go means I feel like I should probably respect crop rotation. So I'm going to play out Cephalid, but not go for it this turn. And now this is just hanging over the whole game. What would be a very hard punish for this, though, is if they have Tabernacle. Hers is Tower. Okay. Just attack. I'll play a fetch land that can surveil. And basically I need to get to where I can beat a crop rotation. It's possible I actually could have done that this last turn. I'll feel like a fool if they're not even a crop rotation deck. Karn Silex. I guess I have to fetch in response. Let's get Hedge Maze. Interesting deck my opponent is playing. I like Ponder, I'll keep that. And this is X or less. Yeah. Karn Silex is a cool card, kind of Pernicious Deed-like. Alright, cast Ponder. I'd love to see Thassa's Oracle. We'll wait for those cards. I might have to just go for it now. Probably shuffle this. Cast the Dread Return. If they have the crop rotation, then I just Memory's Journey back Oracle and win. Now, actually, maybe this was a punt, because maybe I could have just won with this Ponder. Shuffle. I'll go to combat. Whoops. So yeah, if I went Dread Return before casting the Ponder, right? Then I Memory's Journey back. And then after I Memory's Journey back, I cast Ponder, I draw Thassa's Oracle, and then I had the mana to cast it. So I probably should have thought about that a little while longer. All right, I have milled my deck. I'll cast Red Return. Just have to make sure I sacrifice the Cephalid. And I'll keep an Archamiibo around. Why not? So here they presumably have crop rotation. If not, I've just been playing around it unnecessarily. There's the crop rotation. So I let this resolve. They get bog. They bog me. I cast Memory's Journey targeting myself and targeting Thassa's Oracle. That worked. Okay. So Dread Return then is countered. And then I will play out a land. This plays around one of the few things I think that they could have at this point, which is Disruptor Flute. Now they could have Disruptor Flute plus a Wasteland, but this seems like the type of deck that might like Blind Needle a Wasteland. Though it could just be a lands deck, I don't know. This deck is definitely like main deck Karn Silex. This is definitely a spicy deck, really cool. To elaborate what I said earlier about playing around Disruptor Flute, they could name Thassa's Oracle with Disruptor Flute and it would cost 5 mana. So if they had a Wasteland plus Disruptor Flute, I would lose. If they had a Disruptor Flute, I would be able to play out another land and cast it. Well, let's see what's happening here. Another crop rotation. If this is for a Wasteland and they have a Flute, then they got me. Well, they have a ton of mana. A little late for Soul Guide Lantern. Cycling it. I just don't know what they could draw here, short of Wasteland plus Flute, or double Flute, or something like that. I'll feel bad if I lose, though, because I think that Ponder line would have won the game a couple turns back. One ring, sure. Don't know if they play Keys. Probably not if they play Karn Silex. Passing the turn with 1 mana up. This should be the game. Alright. Just cast Thassa's Oracle. Awesome. Now, I really don't know how to sideboard. I think I'm looking at these Swords to Plowshares and thinking these are probably bad. Probably the Tamios are not too good. I think I'm going to board as if this is Karn Forge. So I want the Needle, the Forces, the Consign, and Prismatic Ending. And I guess I'll call it there. Don't know if I really want Fluster. They do have the crop rotation, but I don't know. Cool deck. This hand seems really good. I will keep. Where's this tower? And a Soul Guide Lantern, sure. Depending on how heavy I see them on their graveyard hit, I might switch it up in game 3. But as of right now, it feels okay. I wish I knew if they were a Wasteland deck or not, but it's really hard to imagine that they are a Wasteland deck. This feels more like some sort of revitalization of like green Cloudpost, you know, like an Elvish Reclaimer style deck. Nope. I am not going to let you have Karn the Great Creator. Thankfully I have yet another force. I might not even get to cast this Brainstorm next turn. Let's see. Go ahead and get Meticulous. Another land is not exciting. Another Nadu. Alright, I'll cast Brainstorm. More lands. Oh, it's tough. I really would like to get Nadu and Shuko together as quickly as possible. I'll be patient on that though, because I really don't think I want these lands. And if I find out they are a Wasteland deck, then I will Number one, be happy that Urza Saga didn't get wastelanded, and number two, just not crack the fetch. I'll just draw the land on top of my deck. Wow. That is a lot of mana. Saying go here, okay. So they could have Ugin, but I think you just jam the Ugin. They could have Disruptor Flute. X equals 4, so Scry X. I hate that I have to force this, but I think I do. Get Hedge Maze. Thought I shuffled away Savannah. And a Shuko, that's nice. Alright, I'm gonna get the Nadu down this turn. It's unfortunate that I have to do this into a possible Needle or Flute because you definitely Needle Shuko now. And that's what I just drew. But I want to be mana efficient. And next turn, this Brainstorm will have another... just get to look a little bit longer to find a Nomads, potentially. Hopefully they don't have that Ugin. Yeah, Once Upon a Time is good. I'm very happy to see that. Haven't seen any creatures yet from this deck. Maybe they have Thought-Knot Seer. Cloudpost. Okay, so yeah, they are definitely a post deck. They're going to have a ton of mana next turn. And Karn's Silex. And a Soul Guide Lantern. Another Lantern. Okay. Well, they don't have a ton going on, but they're going to get to completely annihilate my board next turn. Okay. So I get to at least draw 4 cards here. I think it's worth it to play into the Silex. Maybe I even get a Needle. Or a Prismatic Ending. Sadly, can't just win the game right now. Though, now I'm super punished for tapping the Hedge Maze. Okay, what does this cost? 3? That's pretty sweet. Alright, so... I think I'm supposed to Brainstorm first, maybe? Yeah, I'm pretty much not going to be able to get this. I'm going to cast Brainstorm first. Oh, you know what? I just had a Prismatic Ending the Lantern and cast Cephalid as a line. And you know what? I still do. So what I'll... No, I don't, because I have to play this as my land. So next turn, this is going to be able to get another Shuko, because this is non-land. So slightly better for me than a Pernicious Deed would be. So I'll put back these cards. I'll play out Cephalid. And then on the Shuko, I'm going to mill the cards first. But man, I think I could have put a win on the stack here. Mill the cards I didn't want. Get in the other Shuko. Oh, I went to combat on accident, so I'm missing a point of damage here because the Shuko should be on the Nadu. I don't think it's really going to matter, but I need to lock in. All right, I get one more look here, so the party's definitely going to end. If I get a white source, I could ending the Lantern. Another Illusionist is not fantastic. I could also go a little deeper, try to hit a Narcomoeba and draw some more cards. That seems reasonable. But also, I don't want them to be able to crack this Lantern. Yeah, already that's pretty bad, because they could just hit my Dread Return. I think I just need to stop. So they're going to get to nuke my entire board, and I just have to hope the next turn I can recover. Maybe they choose to draw a card here off the Lantern before activating the Silex, that they definitely have to do. Yeah, again, I missed the win, I think. Bummer. Yeah, looks like they're drawing a card. All right, here goes my whole board. Yep, brutal. Oh, another Lantern. Let's see if they hit the Dread Return. Yeah, smart. Well, I drew Narcomoeba. Guess I'm just going to make a construct. Well, let me think about this. So my other thought is going tap the Urza Saga for colorless. Get Needle for Soul Guide. And then try to combo off with Memory's Journey That loses to like a command. Ugh, I've butchered this this game here. I'm gonna make a construct, and I'm still gonna needle Soul Guide Lantern. I'll play out this Shuko, equip, and then just say go. Karn is brutal. Whatever they get though, I can prismatic ending. As long as they can't remove the construct, which they could have something like Portable Hole, but they don't have colored mana with Planar Nexus tapped. Yeah, okay. Brutal. This game's probably over. Cursed Totem, that's fine. Another Saga is pretty good. I'm just gonna play out Cephalids. I want to make it so that they can't minus this Karn this turn. And if I draw a land next turn, then I can ending the totem. Because they might end up like plussing the totem, plussing the Karn target totem to block. Ooh, not Bosejuing my Urza Saga there seems interesting. And scary. Alright. Probably because they just have some enormous thing they can do. Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger. Okay. That's pretty good. This game's over. Alright, now that I've seen more of their deck, I do feel confident in my sideboarding. I've board pretty similarly for the Cloudpost decks versus the Karnforge decks. It's really the same matchup. You just have to keep their big payoffs off the board. I just gave them way too much time. And there were a couple important mistakes. Like I shouldn't have milled looking for Narcomoeba because that's how my Dread Return got exiled. And then I should have just Memories Journeyed the Thassa's Oracle when I had the chance. I'll keep. Yeah, these daisies will probably keep the game in check for a little while. Just play my Hedge Maze. Consign seems good. I can hold that up. Next turn. Hopefully I don't have to daze something this turn. I'll daze. Ooh, paying for the daze. Cool. I hope that that proves to be relevant. Like now I hope there's something that they can't cast or a more important spell they have to cast into daze. Good to know that I won't have to worry about Bojuka Bog. And they're saying go. Love to see a Nadu. Saga's good enough. I think I'm still going to play Hedge Maze first. And just hold up this Consign. And now if I daze back one of these, I can still make constructs, no worries. I think because I have the Consign now, I can be pretty patient on a lot of things. I'm still going to hold back the Nomads if I can. Once Upon a Time, cast with an Elvish Spirit Guide, yeah. Ancient Tomb. I'll daze this. I'm going to continue my patience on Urza Saga. And I'm going to keep digging. Actually, I need to just hold up Consign. So next turn will be Saga and Ponder. Passing the turn. Needle is good. Okay. I see how a win could come together here. I'll draw the Force. I'll draw Cephalid next turn. I'm going to go ahead and needle this Soul Guide Lantern. Sadly, they get to draw a card in response, but actually, maybe I just wait till next turn. Because if they like tap out for one ring, I have I can next turn go Needle, Nomads. I'll just play it out. It's fine. They want to draw a card. It's all good. They didn't draw the card. To me, that means they likely have something a little more devastating to go for. But when I have Nomads and Cephalid in hand, I feel pretty strongly that this is the correct move. Disruptor Flute. I could consign this But I think I won't, because if they name nomads, good for them. I have Urza Saga Pressure, I have Shuko coming out, and I think honestly naming Shuko, seeing that that's coming, is a better name. So I'm gonna let this flute happen. They could name Cephalid Illusionist, but I'll pay 3 extra for that. I have lands. Force of Will. Okay. Interesting. Well, I feel very good about having Consign then. So hopefully they tap out. And I think here it's just make constructs, right? Because if I can't force... Now, if what they have is K command, kind of suck because I could beat that. But this way I can also hold up force into their next turn. I can also just beat down with constructs. Let's see. This is fine. As long as I have this command. Or as long as I have the consign, rather. I'm not too concerned about what they could get. 2 to the top, so their 5-card hand now has 2 good cards in it. Cloudpost. I think there's a good chance they have another command too, or another removal spell in hand. Because I think that was a bit of a strange use of command otherwise. Now, should I brainstorm here? I don't think so. My hand is really good, and that could tap me out of consign. So I think I'm just going to do this, make another construct, get a Shuko, put Cavern on Wizard, attack for 5. If they're able to get like an Ulamog next turn, if they have the mana for that, I can consign with Replicate. Looks like another consign to memory. Yeah, these X equals 2 consigns I'm not super concerned about. They are up to 10 mana. And this time they bottomed both the cards. They might lose if they Ulamog here. If they tap the tomb and sack all their guys to Ulamog, I can consign. But now I think with the Eye of Ugin, I think they don't have to do that. They could choose between tapping the tomb. But it looks like passing the turn here. And then on my upkeep doing something. Disruptor Flute. What might they name with this? Nadu. I'm gonna let them do it. Nadu, sure. Alright, I'm gonna brainstorm off of Meticulous Archive pre-combat. I like that. Force of Negation is an excellent card to see. I don't think I need all these cephalids, so I like putting back 2 cephalids, playing this out. I'll go to combat. They might chump here. Alright, looks like there's some mid-combat spell casting. I think that's a little bit too many things. And they're trying to exile one of these. I could go Force of Will, pitch Cephalid, pay the 3, and then still hold up Consign. I could go Force of Will, pitch Force of Negation, still hold up Consign. Yeah, I definitely want to force this because I want to keep the pressure on. So I'll fetch Tundra, I guess. And then I'll Force of Will, pitch. I'll pay the 3. And I'll pitch Force of Negation. I want to keep my combo up. Now, if they're smart, they're going to see that I have Consign from what just happened. Because why didn't I just hardcast Force of Negation? But I would love to just get their hand empty. Like now I don't mind if they play out a big Eldrazi. Well, that's what Consign is for. 1 card left in hand. Another Cephalid. I'll go to combat. They're blocking. I'm going to lead on Cephalid. See what happens here. This also puts a lethal attacker on board. And I'll play out the Nomads as well. Maybe they kill... Okay, so they don't have removal. They could have command. They could have graveyard hate. And I think as long as I sacrifice the cephalid, I should be able to get the job done here. There's no way they could cast an Emrakul next turn, I don't think. So I'm going for it. There's Thassa's Oracle. Milling a Narcomoeba. There's the Memories Journey. Just have to hit the Dread Return. Alright. Dread Return. Thassa's Oracle. I'll sack the Narcomoebas and the Cephalid. Oh man. Got there. So the next turn, thankfully I had a couple things available to me. So like the next turn, I obviously could cast Thassa's Oracle, but also had them dead on board 2 attacks. So I don't know how that could have been relevant. If they did have something like the ability to take me off a land plus yet another flute, then at least I had that. But that just felt like a good time to go off. And even though to be honest, I would have felt totally comfortable not going for it there. It's just that if they only had 1 card in hand, I think that the presence of Memories Journey in the deck made it so that I could not envision there being a card I could lose to. Like, even if their card was something like Extirpate at split second, right? I really just had the Memories Journey anything back the next turn, and I'd be okay. So it felt acceptable to bait out whatever interaction they had left, and it seems like they actually didn't have anything. So anyway, GG. Alright, I'm on the play for match 2. Yeah, this hand is great. I'll keep. This is a nice curve of must answer threats. And imagine if this Tameo was like a removal spell. I just go Island turn 1, then they Thoughtseize me. And I mean, this hand's pretty good with Thoughtseize anyway. Against Thoughtseize because Cephalid and Nadu are a bit redundant. But I'm going to go ahead and start with this basic island. I want to do what I can to ensure I crack a clue in a timely fashion. Island Tameo. Force of Will. Pitch Brainstorm. Acceptable Exchange. Underground Sea Ponder. So, some Dimir deck. Could be anything. Could be Doomsday. Could be Dimir Reanimator. The list is really endless. Happy to see Force of Will. I'm going to play this Saga. Question is, which card do I pitch to Force of Will if I need that to counter an Entomb or whatever? Alright, guess I really won't have much of a say in the matter. I bet they take the Force. Okay, they took the Nadu. Interesting. You have Wasteland? Undercity Sewers, and they know the top card, right? Okay, just a land. Could have been a lot worse there. Blue card, please. Alright. I think it's fine to play around another Thoughtseize, or to not play around another Thoughtseize. If I just end up making constructs, that's okay. I'm going to play this Windswept Heath, and I'm going to immediately fetch a Plains, and I'm going to pass. And the reason why I'm fetching that Plains there is I don't want them to go Wasteland, and then they get to Wasteland my Izzet Saga in response to a fetch. So, well, fetching here. Could this be like a Barrowboy? Or are they just surveilling with like a Reanimate? Okay, it's a Grixis deck. It's beginning to look a lot like Grixis. Snapcaster, target Thoughtseize, Force of Will, Pitch Ponder. Sure. Alright, well my constructs are gonna do some heavy lifting here. Yep, that's fine. Goodbye, Cephalid. Alright, well that makes sense then why they did the line that they did. Nomads is not really what I was looking for. Get Shuko, play out my Flooded Strand. I will not play out the Nomads. I'm going to Surveil. But hopefully these big constructs will get the job done. My opponent's already taken a good bit of life, forcing 2 things and thought-seizing 2 things. I feel favored, but it's amazing that they've force-willed twice and we're even on cards, basically. Though, you know, the constructs are making me a bit ahead. Another Ponder. And they, it's noteworthy that they tapped the Valk, so I think it's more likely they play Fatal Push than it is that they play Lightning Bolt. Alright, well, just 1 card left in hand. Show me a Nadu. Other Nomads is not what I'm looking for. Another land is not what I'm looking for. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Now if they can kill this guy... Aha. Yeah, that's fine. That was a decent card to keep. I'll continue to hold the Nomads. And I'll Surveil. Would love to see Cephalid, actually. I think I can guarantee a win just about with a Cephalid. Hey. Alright, so Nomads first, and then Cephalid. If they have removal, that's not going to work. If they have, like, Force of Negation. Alright, they're doing something here. Shouldered Edict. GG. So everything is where it needs to be. Ponder's in exile. My graveyard doesn't have any Narcomoebas in it already. So let's combo off. Dread Return, Thassa's Oracle. So this was a really great game to showcase the multi-dimensional threats of this deck, because I am putting the win on the stack on my 6th turn, and I was able to, 1, beat a removal spell because I had the Shuko and Nomads so that I could execute the combo. But prior to that, I was able to bait out a lot of their counter spells early, like forcing the Tamiyo turn 1 was an incredible exchange for me. And then the Saga constructs helped me to push towards an endgame after having my hand picked apart by Thoughtseize. And then finally, I was able to, after depleting all of their resources, to prevent those plays, just win with the breakfast combo. So, a really great showcase for this style of deck. Alright, I'm assuming they play Tamiyo, so I like bringing in removal. Cavern seems good. I'll consider Soul Cauldron. It's marginally good against them, and they don't have exile-based removal, so it's fairly good for me. I like Fluster. I don't like the Dazes. Maybe I'll chill out on 1 copy of Cephalid and 3 Forces. I think that seems reasonable. Alright, this hand is bad, but it's definitely a keep. Got the island, got the Ponder, 1 piece of interaction. If they Thoughtseize me, I still have Urza's Saga, so it's a pretty underwhelming hand. But if you're going to play Breakfast, you have to be comfortable keeping hands like this. Cavern, that's good to see. I don't know if this deck plays any sort of like Wasteland. I think it's unlikely. Blood Moon is a possibility. I just think I have the ability to fetch basics with my mana situation, so I will. Might be a Spell Pierce. Might just be not wanting to have to click through stuff. I try to avoid doing stuff like this, like, unless they're gonna daze this now, which I don't think. Let's shuffle. I try to avoid fetching at the wrong time, like, allows you to F6, but I just don't think that's very important. Alright, so they have fetched a dual land. They've played out another dual land, so the more dual lands they play out, the more likely it is, I think, that what they're doing is not going to affect my mana base. So I'm going to cast this Tamiyo, but I'm choosing to do it I'm not including Cavern because I'm sure they have some sort of removal, so if they're willing to counter it, be my guest. And they're sort of incentivized too because I have this fetch land up. So like now they have to have an anxiety about removing it, knowing that I'm holding up Brainstorm. Bowmaster is fine. I can ending that. If they have Kaito this turn, that's going to be troubling. I'm going to block the token. And this way, if they want a Kaito, they have to pick the Bowmaster back up. Looks like they don't have it, though. If they have K command and can do 2 damage to this, I'm going to feel bad. Oh, no. Yeah, that's good. I'll discard Memory's Journey. Keep the Oracle in hand. Well, that was a good exchange for them. Get Meticulous. I don't want swords. I want Nadu. I'm going to ending this Bowmaster and then probably cast Ponder. I don't know if they have another Bowmaster, but this is my window to do it. Yes. Very good. Okay, so I'll draw the swords. It would be a bummer if it got Thought Seized away. I could have drawn the Tundra there, but probably was correct to do that. I don't know. Just wouldn't mind having access to the swords sooner rather than later. And I'm not too concerned with it getting Thought Seized. So they didn't shuffle and then immediately cast a Brainstorm. So they're only looking at 1 new card off the Brainstorm. See what happens here. Okay, just fetching. I kind of like going Saga, Oracle, clear the Tundra off my deck. This means that they can't attack anymore with the 1/1. This also plays around Sheoldred's Edict. So that worked out really well. Now I have Ponder on top. They have a Ponder. I think you probably should Ponder before making your land drop there. Alright, so this turn I think I'm just going to cast Ponder. Make a construct. Yeah, that's good. So I'll do this. And I'll play the Cavern out. And I'm still going to make a construct. I'm still going to hold back Thassa's Oracle. So now I can construct plus swords. And then the worst thing that could happen here is they Thoughtseize Nadu and then they surgical it. No attacks. So next turn I'm definitely playing out Nadu. Doing something here. Maybe they're not doing something here. Okay. Float the mana. Is this a consign? That's pretty good. Bowmaster, okay. I think they're going to regret that. Here comes Uncounterable Nadu. And now with the Oracle in play, if they have Edict. Maybe K command on the Shuko. Make me discard a card. It's pretty fair. What do I discard here? I guess Cephalid. Because with the Oracle in play, Cephalid is not particularly good. So, yeah, that's fine. I think I'm ahead here. And I really actually do hope they spend a card to answer this Nadu, like Pyroblasted or something like that. Because I have the redundant Nadu. Edict. Yeah, well, I'm going to sack Thassa's Oracle. Do you have another one? Double Edict. That's annoying. I'll save the swords. Alright, I'll play out Nadu. Very unlikely they have any more Edicts. See what happens here. If they go to combat, I'm definitely plowing something. Set. Sure. It's pretty good. Thoughtseize. Okay. Yeah, they can take a swords. Got the Pyroblast. Flusterstorm off the top. Oh, Narcomy. Oh, that's bad. Oh, terrible. I'm going to play Narcomy Bout because if they minus the Tamiyo, it'll pressure it. And I still have Hedge Maze in my deck. I should remember I have the Memories Journey here in case they snap something. Okay. Bolt. Bowmaster. Yeah, that's good. I think this game is over. Let's go ahead now and see what I hedge maze. If it's a Narc Amoeba, I might chump. Cephalid. It's not good enough. I think it has to be Brainstorm. And even then, I would be dead, right? Yeah. Scoop. Alright, that one was tough. Just got Grixis there. I think I'll just run it back. Yeah, this hand seems great. I'll keep. I think rather than play... my hand's really good. I'm just going to hold up Flusterstorm. Wow. Alright, I'm going to cast this Brainstorm. Okay. I'm just going to put back the white cards, and I'm going to continue to hold up Flusterstorm. I'll be a little more aggressive. I'll play out Tamiyo. Get a Trop. I'll regret it if they bolt it. But if they Thoughtseize me, I still have another Nadu. Another beginning of combat fetch for a Surveil. I like that. I like that I'm getting through a turn cycle without them removing Tamiyo. Sure. I think it's time to play out Nadu. If they do push it, then I can maybe get a land and fluster. Yeah, this is a good exchange for me. So if I Flusterstorm, there's 2 copies, they just pay. That's fine. Strix, yep, that's fine. And I'll Surveil. Brainstorm is good. I'll Brainstorm now. Don't love that. So I'll cast Nadu again. And I'll just hope that Flusterstorm can keep Nadu alive. Yeah, this is going to be a blowout here. So I know the top card of my library, so I'm going to right now fetch, get Tundra. Yep. So I'll get a card, hedge maze, Dread Return into the bin, and then I'll fluster here. And then I have all these cantrips to find another combo piece. Wow, attacking with the Strix is interesting. Okay, ending is not bad. So if I start on Ponder and I don't see things I like, I get to look at more overall cards this way, though I might eventually be Brainstorm locked. I think I want to look at the maximum number of cards though. Cauldron triggers Nadu, and then I have Force of Will up. I think this is good enough. If this eats a Force, I'm totally fine with it. I don't know, should I fight over this? I think I will. So I'll put back these cards, and then I'll go Force, pitch Journey. I might deeply regret this line. Alright, well if you're going to go Hellbent for that, I don't know. I don't love my position here, honestly. I think I was too all in on that play. I'll hold the island. Were they surgicaling something here? Please do. Please do. Draw step command. And 2 damage to me. Sure, I'll discard the island. Yeah, I'll keep attacking. I have Prismatic Ending on top to deal with one of these things. Tamiyo. I guess I'll Prismatic Ending that. Also an argument to Prismatic Ending Nadu for 1, but I can't let them have Tamiyo. And now that we're getting close to dying to Bolt range, I'm going to switch over and not attack. If they want to attack me with Strix, that's fine. If they want to attack me with Snapcaster and then Bolt Nadu, that would be unfortunate, but fine. Oh, brutal. Oh, Shoulder's Edict is a heck of a card. I gotta be pretty favored here now. Yeah. I'll hold it. I need a Brainstorm. Yeah, I got impatient on that Soul Cauldron. There was no reason to force that. That wasn't even going to be that good for me. So I'm dead to a Bolt. I'm dead to a Bowmaster. Not quite good enough. Good game. And I'm on the play for the third round. Ugh. I'm gonna mull. Okay, I was rewarded. I'll just bottom the swords. They're mulling as well. Alright, so my opponent is good on 6. Just Island Ponder. Try to find Force or another combo piece. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Tamio. I'm gonna allow the Tamio. I can pressure it. Go ahead and play this Meticulous, clear the Narcomoeba. Could be a mirror match. Pre-combat Ponder. Interesting. I like that Ponder. That's the Ponder I play in paper. It's those textless Ponders. A little over a year ago, I played a Legacy tournament, and I was playing those Ponders, and one of my opponents in like maybe the third round, something like that, they asked me to remind them what Ponder did, and if someone's asking what Ponder does, you know they're not like super well versed in Legacy, and that was not a very proud moment for me. And how I was doing that day is to be paired up with someone who didn't know what Ponder does, but this is what it is. There was a point in my life where I didn't know what Ponder did, so we're all learning. Okay, Nomads. Well, I'm definitely gonna play that. Go Plains, Nomads. Threaten to win next turn. I can hit them for 1 with Narcomoeba. It's definitely not a mirror match. Hope they don't Bowmaster here, but if they do, it's totally fine, actually. Because I just put the damage on Narcomoeba. Actually, I would love it if they Bowmastered. Thoughtseize is also okay. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think they have an out here. Unless they play like Dismember or something. Main deck Surgical. Yep. It's fine. Well, they didn't shuffle. But I just think that this is pretty unbeatable. Name Wizard. Well, this is a cool draw 12 at least. Cephalid is cool. And Oracle. Try to go ahead and kill this Tamio. Just don't want to deal with it. I'll get Savannah. Yeah, this game's over. But we're still playing it. Which, you know, I'm never mad at playing a game when I'm so far ahead because it's just feels easy. Though you can make more mistakes when you're super ahead. Yeah, Brainstorm is fine. Fighting the good fight. I like these Brainstorms. They look good in paper, I think. Though I've never played with them. Entomb, okay. What on earth? Guess I'm going to try to counter this. I would normally say show me the Reanimate in a situation like this. But this also represents a shuffle effect. I mean, the game's just over. Pitch the Narcomoeba. Okay. Play Urza's Saga. Cast a counterable Cephalid Illusionist. Cast an uncounterable Thassa's Oracle. Alright. Thank you. Alright, some sort of Reanimator deck. I guess I'll just board for it like it's Dimir. Though it's a weird bug Reanimator. So all the graveyard hate comes in, all the removal comes in. I should be well equipped to answer Tamio and a fast combo. Or the more likely, slightly slower combo. I could even see an argument for like going up one more of these, one more Vacuum, or even one more Cauldron and going down Macabre if I was playing like a super serious tournament. I just think people have kind of quit on Oops. Like it was never that good and I think people got bored of it. And it had its moment in the sun and it was really annoying when it did. Of course, if you were playing Oops and you were enjoying it, more power to you. You're allowed to do that. I did have, I went to my local game store one time, and someone brought Oops, and I paired into them, and they normally play Control. Shout out to Dylan if you're watching this, but definitely a choice for the LGS environment. Yeah, I'll keep combo Fairy Macabre. Seems good. Brainstorm to recover from a Thoughtseize. Only a turn 1 Tamiyo would really mess me up. So Underground Sea Go to me means they're ready to do the thing. So I'll put Meticulous Archive in. Chance to get it out of the way. It also, another land is probably good. I've topped a card. I can't play around Daze this turn. Like, it really incentivizes them to go for it. Generous Ent. Yeah, it might be Fairy Macabre your Generous Ent. Shame it wasn't Entomb. But, I mean, it amounts to about the same thing. I'm going to Brainstorm. If they Bowmaster and then I get to keep my Nomads, then that's good. I don't know. That's really risky, actually. I think I might just play the fetch land and say go. Because if they can kill the Nomads or counter the Nadu, and then I just have this 4/4, not worth it. Well, it's nice they're cycling another Generous Ent because Macabre can take both of them out in one fell swoop. And then if they think that the coast is clear for Entomb, it won't be. Honestly, I should have Brainstormed there when they were tapped out of Bowmaster. I'll Surveil. I wonder if this Reanimator list would be so ridiculous as to play something like Life from the Loam. Alright, I'm going to cast Ponder. If they Bowmaster, I can Brainstorm in response. Okay. Like that. I'll play the Saga. Just keep passing. If they're just chilling, I'm just chilling, but I have an Urza's Saga. Brainstorm, sure. Maybe Entomb to shuffle. Okay, they didn't shuffle. And fetching now could be another cantrip. I have no clue what 4-drop they would play. Just Thoughtseizing me. It's unfortunate. I'm going to allow it. It's fine. They'll almost certainly take Nadu. Barugoyf. Yeah, that's good. Might be chumping that. Cast Brainstorm. Bunch of lands. I'm going to fetch now. Fetch Savannah. For the same reason as I stated earlier, I don't want them to be able to wasteland me with a fetch land in play. Like, I don't want to have to fetch to make my construct. I think I have to chump. Oof, if they have a Bowmaster here, it's going to wreck me. Ponder's good. Those Ponders look really nice on Magic Online. I like the textless cards on Magic Online. No shuffle. Alright, I'll Brainstorm. Okay. I'll put back a land and a Macabre. I'll make a construct. I'll get Ghost Vacuum. And then I'll cast Ponder. Yeah, I like that. Shuko on the bottom, followed by Nomad, or followed by Nadu, and I'll draw the Ponder. So I have Force of Will. Maybe I even let the Barugoyf hit me this turn. I don't know. That's kind of a big hit from the Goyf. Brainstorm is good. Thoughtseize is good. See what they take. Should probably take Force of Will. Yeah. And I'll chump again. Yeah, I'm just gonna chump Wasteland. Sure. Take out a Generous Ent. I think I will Brainstorm for a turn. Ooh, definitely rewarded there. I want to put this Nadu on top. And maybe just go like Nomads. Sandbag the Cavern. So I'll put the Shukos on top. Or no. Shuko on top. And then Nadu just on top. Nomads. Nomads. Okay. Yep. And I'm going to let this Barrowglyph hit me. And so I'm going to take out my Izzet. Yeah, I'm going to take out my Izzet Saga here. If they reanimate a Generous Ent, I probably just let it go. If they surgical my Nadu, I have Fairy Macabre. But I would like to minimize the damage from this Barrowglyph. Give them one less look at something like a Bowmaster. Ooh, Archon. Okay. Good thing I still have Macabre. And they chose Barrowglyph, that's fine. And they play Barrowglyph and tap out of black. Sweet. I think they're about to get wrecked here. Anything short of like Disruptor Flute should be good. Awesome. And I'd love to start clearing these Goyfs, but I'm gonna be miles ahead here, no matter what. And I can like block both Goyfs, or I can block each Goyf with one Nomads, and then put all the damage onto one of them. Or maybe I just don't need Tamiyo. Probably should just force this if they have it. Daze, that's fine. Good for them for getting some juice out of Daze this late in the match. But I'll pass with 7 cards in hand and answers for everything except these Goyfs. I can also possibly Ghost Vacuum back the Archon of Cruelty next turn. Alright, so these are 4/5s. Force of Will, that's pretty sweet. Another Vacuum. Cavern, named Wizard. Another land. Can I get a Swords? Alright, this is going to be kind of awkward because now I have to be very careful about not losing my Nadu to a Death Touch thing. So I think what I have to do is click on this 4 times over here and hope the Magic Online understands what I'm trying to do. Let's do one more time. So I'll block here, I'll block here, and I should only lose 1 Nomad, and I shouldn't lose Nadu. Okay, that's not what happened. Probably because, I don't know. It should be fine. I'm so far ahead. But I do have to be careful not to deck myself. Go ahead and get the Archon of Cruelty. So this turn I like going... let's fetch here. Drop. I like going Ending on 1 Goyf right now. Hard cast Force of Will from the looks of it. I'll cast my own Force of Will, pitch, Ponder. I will cast the most uncounterable Nadu of all time. And I think just pass. Yeah, I'll just pass. Now, because I don't have Thassa's Oracle, though, I'm going to have to find a way to win here. I do have Memory's Journey. So Memory's Journey can put cards back in my library if it comes down to it. And this time around, I'm just going to take the damage. It's fine. Endurance. It's pretty good. And Abrupt Decay. Interesting. I'm also down on the clock. If this does go to a game 3, which I don't envision, I need to be aware of that. They can borrow my Vacuum, take away the Archon line. I'll go ahead and get the other Ent out of the deck. Ooh, excuse me. They can also put one of those back in their hand, which is pretty good. But I think them losing their Barrowglyph to an Archon of Cruelty is too good to pass up. Awesome. I'm going to get some food tokens. That'll help my life total. I like this art of Archon of Cruelty. If I ever decided to take the plunge and become a real Dimir Reanimator player, I'd probably get that Archon of Cruelty art. So I guess they're going to petty theft one of these things back. I think they have to do the Archon. And I get a trigger. Is it worth it to try to find a Force of Will? I feel like it kind of is. There we go. Got it really early too. That's great. Pitch the Brainstorm, I guess. Awesome. So now I get an Archonic Cruelty trigger. Amazing. I can see why people play this card. I get some food tokens. And I have enough cards left in my library that this should just be enough to win. The Archon is just a 1/1, but it still hits for 4 each turn. They're just cooked. Okay, Endurance. So they can kill my Nomads. Would have liked for them to put my library back in my deck. Maybe that was a reason to actually get their Endurance, but I can get that off this other Ghost Vacuum if I really want. I would like to keep my Nomads around, so I'm gonna let them have a Generous Ent back in their yard. So now the Generous Ent should die, Nomads should live. Sweet. I have a Force of Will, and I should still have a Plains left in the deck. I'm gonna use that to cast Ghost Vacuum. And then I can just keep the party rolling. I could get a Barrow-Goyf, I could get an Endurance. Yeah. Feeling good. I'll discard Shuko and the land. I guess the Endurance killed the Archonic Cruelty. But I can just get it back. Yeah, the Nomads thing is super confusing on Magic Online. That's being shown here just a bit. Like, they need to, when it resolves, I think they just have to show you exactly where the damage is being put. Just like how, you know, when you cast a Fury, it does the same thing. Alright, so I'm going to get Archonic Cruelty, and I am going to try to get Endurance too. So I'm going to wait a turn, pick up Endurance, and then endure my own library, and from there it should be super easy. I'm just going to Swords the Endurance so I don't have to go to discard. And this game has felt over for quite a while, but it's making good content that we're still playing it out. So I'm not mad. I can get some life off these food tokens here. This is sick. Is this a hard cast Ent? Hard cast Generous Ent. Feels a little ridiculous to Force of Will this, but I will. And I'll pitch Ponder so that I can gain some life back. Opponent says GG. This was a fun one. Yeah, good game. I guess actually I didn't need to force that one because I was going to get the Archon and then the Archon was going to be able to kill it, so oh well. Alright, I'm on the play. Match 4. Been winning these die rolls this league. Yep. Force blue. Both combo pieces, removal. Pretty good hand. Hopefully it yields a win. The only thing I'm super concerned about this game here is the mana. I have one basic I can get, but it's going to be hard to work my way up to Nadu if there's any sort of wasteland situation. Let's see what they're up against. See what I'm up against. Bayou. Green Sun Zenith. Okay. So I think the best course of action is surveilling now. I think this is going to be some sort of Cradle control style deck. And I don't think Swordsing Dryad Arbor is the move. But I'll hold up swords for like a white or something like that. Yeah, that's good. That's probably actually better. So I have Force of Will to get me through the next turn. But I would like to get the Saga going, get Nomads down. And probably going to be a pretty quick and easy turn 3 here if I had to guess. They're fetching white. This deck plays Snuff Out, so I'm going to let them have white of the Reliquary. Sylvan Safekeeper. That's fine. Yeah, I'm just going to go so nuts over what they're doing here. I'll play the Cavern named Wizard. And this should be an easy one, unless they have 2 Snuff Outs. Or they could just have no snuff outs. Alright, well, let's see how degenerate this gets. If we don't get lands, the party's going to stop pretty soon. Okay. Alright. Sadly, can't really swords anything here. But Force of Will should be all I need to take care of business. I think it's very likely I win next turn, though, you know, they do have Bojuka Bog held up now. So it would have to be by finding the Thassa's Oracle. Another land. Probably natural ordering. Yeah, I'll draw the cards before I cast the Force. Be nice to daze it. Might even be able to hardcast this Force if I keep hitting lands. My god. Well, there we go. I bet they scoop, yeah. Probably could get a Traxa there. Maybe they could get Crater Hoof. Maybe that would have been close to enough damage. Force me to block with my creatures. I like removal. That's pretty much it. I don't think I need Cavern. You can maybe talk me into Cauldron. I do like Force of Will a lot, but I could trim one Force. I could probably trim the Plains as well. I'll try this. I'll try the Cauldron. Not only do they have a lot of things that could activate and be pretty good, and they might be with a white putting things in their graveyard, but also they're going to be removing my things. So Cauldron has enough utility that I think it'd be good. I definitely think the Legacy is not in a spot where like grindy utility cards are very good. So maybe it's not the best to bring that in, but it's okay. I'll try it. I think this is a pretty favorable matchup, and I think that Breakfast and Nadu decks have to be one of the reasons why these fair green decks don't see as much play. Yeah, this seems really good. I'll keep. Once upon a time. Be nice to have a little bit of information. Collector Roof. I question whether that's good enough to have in. It's like some sort of Dryad Arbor again, yeah. I'll just start with Tamiyo if they do that. I think it's a little bit of a trap going after the dorks from this deck. I think you have to save your removal for their specialty creatures like Reclaimer, if they even still play that. White of the Reliquary is obviously the big hit. Or any sort of other special purpose creature. Ooh, the Brainstorm. The combo is assembled. I love how Brainstorm is just basically a combo piece with Tamiyo. I just really hope Tamiyo doesn't get banned. I like Tamiyo quite a bit, but it is a good enough card to be banned, I think. Shame. Reclaimer, yep. It's likely to get swords. Cradle. Yeah, I'll let them Thoughtseize me. I bet they take Brainstorm. Maybe I should have forced the Reclaimer. I think you have to take Brainstorm. You can't have my Tamiyo flip. Okay, they took the ending. That's also pretty good. Yeah, I'll let them have that oof. I guess I can't really crack clues with the oof, but I'm not about to force Collector Oof. Another Tamiyo. Can pitch that to a Force of Will. I think the fact that they didn't take Force of Will means that they're going to have a really tough time closing out this game. Okay. I can win next turn. I'll hide a Tamiyo that I might end up not drawing. And Cephalid. And this turn I can force something and pick up Force of Will next turn, and I still have another blue card. And if they bog to prevent me from that, then I just win in response. And I have to keep 2 mana open with Nomads in play. Okay, they're gonna natural order, I guess. White. That's fine. So I guess then what I do is I use the Tamiyo minus to pick up Prismatic Ending. And I end the Reclaimer and then combo off. And then anything short of Fairy Macabre I win. This is an excellent spot for Tamiyo and its incredibleness in this deck. So this is a nice watch and learn moment if you're not too into playing Tamiyo and breakfast. Ending Reclaim. Now they could Talon Gate here. That would be good. If they Talon Gate my nomads, good for them. Okay, they get Urza's Saga. I'm going to clear this mana too. I don't even want to have to deal with Endurance if I can help it. And now I'll play Cephalid. Show me Fairy Macabre. Well, they might be holding a Macabre the way they're playing, but I'm going for it. There's the Oracle and Journey. All right, show me the Macabre. We've come to this point. Yep, didn't have it. Cool, good game. All right, I'm on the play for the last round. I want to say this guy plays Storm. Can't keep a no-lander. Definitely going to keep a double force hand. And I get Send Dread Return to the bottom. Play Meticulous. Yeah, I like Daze. And then Ponder. Well, that could be Storm. Could be a number of things. They didn't shuffle. I'll cast the Brainstorm next turn. I think I can put back Swords and another land, and I'll get Trop, and I'll cast Ponder. Yeah, those cards are good enough. So now I can pitch the Cephalid to Force a Will pretty freely. And even the Nadu, potentially. So next turn I could have double Force plus Daze. Just win with Construct beats. Okay. Or I could just be totally wrong. Alright, well then I like Nadu next turn backed by Daze. Wow. Totally wrong. I still think I have a pretty acceptable hand. So now it'll be Nadu backed by Daze, and then if I need a second counterspell, it'll be Force Pitch Force, I think. Cast it now. Alright, in there. That feels good. If they have Wasteland, they'll definitely go after the Saga, which will be annoying. They do attack. And they do know the top card of their library, so they could get Dragon's Ridge Channeler Delirious, but I think this is an attack here. Because I have a land on top, meaning that I can play around Daze by forcing whatever it is they do. Yeah. So I'm going to try to force this, pitching a force, and that resolves. So their Channeler just dies for free. I might be able to Daze a Murktide here. Another Bolt. Nomads. Yeah, it's fine. Get Hedge Maze. Another land is not what I'm looking for. But while they're tapped out or red, I guess I go for it here. There's the Cephalid. Alright, they just scoop. Cool. Yeah, it seems like they didn't really have what they needed there. Because the Nadu resolved. Like, you definitely don't let Nadu resolve if you have a Force or a Daze. And they had already done the Preordained, so they didn't do any cantripping that last turn. So that felt pretty secure. And if that hadn't worked for some reason, Brainstorm would have been a good follow-up. So, alright, so this is a matchup that I'm still trying to figure exactly what I want to do. And there's really just one thing, because I am starting to think that I do want Cauldron, and as I get closer to Eternal Weekend, I think Cauldron's going to be a card I try to play. The question is, do I want to board like this, that you're going to see me do here in a second, which is all forces and dazes out, or leave a force in and not bother with the Cauldron? And I don't know what the correct answer is. I can say that it used to feel good against tempo decks to have Graveyard Hate. I think it no longer does. But Cauldron does just enough for what I'm trying to do, then maybe it's better than Force. I like having access to one counter spell free counterspell because it can help with Core Steel Cutter. It can help with just making sure Nadu sticks or whatever it is I'm trying to do. So I haven't been minding the one of Force of Will, but I want to try the Cauldron. I like Cauldron, so we're going to see how it goes. This is a very unexciting hand, but it's a keep. Remove their thing, ponder, try to find stuff. Would love a brainstorm. Channeler, sure. I think they're unlikely to daze the ponder, so going for it feels okay. All right, Nadu right away. It's a much better hand now. Would love to find basic planes. That's pretty much it that I'm looking for. There's the exact basic planes. And then I guess if I play planes next turn, I'm drawing all these cards, so it's fine, I'll just do it like this. Next turn I get to kill this channeler, and really, as long as I dodge a cutter, which it looks like is happening, I'm gonna feel good. Now it'll be a question next turn whether I should Nadu, like, should I go Shuko, play around days, swords into days? Should I just play around days altogether? I can't really cast the Nadu around days, so at some point I'm gonna just have to go for it. It seems like they're trying to push damage here, but they kept the card on top, so they won't be pushing damage. I think what I'll do is actually just play Shuko and hold off on swords. Next turn I draw Hedge Maze, so it would be a convenient time to play Hedge Maze and play around days. Upkeep Brainstorm, just desperately digging for the Delirium. So there we go. That does make me think this is like their only threat. So it also makes me think that I could get a hard cast, or I could get a Force of Will out of them if they have it to protect the threat. Because once you're threatless as a Delver deck, you're pretty much a goner. Like, your opponent's going to be able to play around everything that you do. So really it's the strength of these cards to put the pressure on you to act in ways that aren't the best. All right, let's see if this works. Okay. Play the Hedge Maze. Yes, I do like Nomads very much. They either don't have a Surveil or they could be seeking the Beast here. Seek the Beast would be really good. Petty Theft, sure. It's not bad. Slow me down a bit. If they don't have Wasteland though, I'm playing Nadu next turn. Ponder's good. That means I think it's very likely they do get Wasteland. Yep. And I can't Surveil off of this and cast a Nadu, so I'm just going to do it into days. I'll get Savannah. All right, Nadu resolved. So they could have Unholy Heat, some bolts. This is going to be a good exchange for me no matter what. Cephalid, all right. They know I have Shuko. I have to dodge another Wasteland. Dodged Wasteland. I think I cast Nadu again. Sweet, don't have to worry about days now. Oop, tapped wrong. Here's another Nadu. Here's Nomads. I don't think they have days. They would have had to top deck it. Because you definitely would days. Alright. This should be the game. Yeah, I think this is a pretty favorable matchup overall. Nadu just wrecks them. Like, even just having a Nadu on the board, you could see from game one how they had to go extremely out of their way to answer it and couldn't, and just lost their creature. I guess I keep going here and play Tamiyo. Get Tundra, play Tamiyo. This game's over. But we'll keep playing it as long as they want. Another land. Ponder. I don't need to cast Ponder. I'm just going to pass. So the real question will be, should I try for Thassa's Oracle? Or should I just try to win with the beatdown plan? Because, like, I would hate to lose to a Stifle when I'm absolutely miles ahead. So let's see how this game continues to play out. Attacking. It's fine. Could have, like, Price of Progress. That would be a bummer. Swords is good. Just gonna start drawing cards. Price would deal 6 to me, and I would fetch and fail to find on these, so I would be taking 8. Now 10. So I would have to swords my own creature to survive if I can't produce some sort of counter. Name wizard. Another Tameo. Just gonna attack with everything. I am really unconcerned about the borrower. But I will play out Narcomoeba as a blocker. I mean, I'm just gonna play out creatures. Is this Price of Progress? Bolt my face. It's fine. Price of Progress. They had it. So I can go to start by drawing a card. I mean, it pretty much has to be Fluster, Force. I think I might be dead to this. That's cheesy. Yeah. I hate that. Yeah, they got me. That's fine. Well, I guess the game wasn't over. I was talking all that crap and got my ass handed to me by a Price of Progress. Yeah, I've been seeing more of those. Now that I've seen that, I'm gonna get one more Force of Will in the deck. Now, I will say you can, I was saying this a little bit in that game, but you can play a little bit around Price of Progress by fetching and failing to find. But even then, it still does 1 damage to you, all your fetches from cracking them. But that could be the difference between staying alive and not. Well, let's hope this game goes better. I do feel favored, but, you know, Delver is a strong deck and can come back and like they did, or it can just find a lot of wins with the way that they play. It's a really consistent and threatening deck. So I'll take the play. Risky hand, but I'm gonna keep. I'll start with the Hedge Maze. I'll bin Ponder. I just have to not get wastelanded. Oop. Yep. Well, this is looking rough. If I draw a land, I'll feel good. If I don't draw a land here, it's gonna be bad. Yep. Oh no. All right. Oh, this is brutal. Yeah, I feel very, very unfavored here. And honestly, if I don't draw land on the next turn, I'm probably just gonna scoop it up. I don't know, maybe going to discard and putting Thassa's Oracle in the graveyard is actually kind of good. Let's see. Oh. Alright, I'll take one more draw step. I do like the thought of putting Thassa's Oracle into the graveyard on cleanup phase. Immediately surgical on this. That's fine. I'll just F6. Now the cephalids are pretty bad. Maybe this hand was a mole. I don't know. Alright, I'm gonna scoop it up. But, you know, maybe this hand was a mole with its really sketchy mana situation. And I died without ever casting a spell. But I think most games, especially with a Surveil, I get there by turn 3, you know, maybe miss like 1 land drop, but like statistically it's pretty likely I would get there. And it just didn't happen, and my hand I thought was good enough overall if it did get there, right? All these cantrips. But, you know, you need blue mana to play the game. So, anyway, GG. So, a 3-2 league. Kind of mediocre overall. Looking back at the league, so I lost to Grixis Control, And I lost to Delver. And the Delver deck really, I mean, I feel like I sort of won game two with the way that I played, but the Nadu flips came up with lands and they had price of progress. So I didn't win. I got cheesed out of it. And that does happen. That's happened to me a handful of times. It's not very common at all, but it is something that they can do. And I think with Eldrazi decks on the rise, price of progress makes more sense. So that's something to be aware of and a reason to maybe still try to get the game over quickly. Maybe have Force of Will in your deck. Yeah, that's fine. This was sort of a weird league of matches. There were some off-meta decks for sure, some spicy brews, and it's always cool to play against stuff like that, but I do like to play it against the really on-meta decks as well and feel like I'm gaining an education by playing these leagues. So overall, there were some cool plays though. Definitely some nice bingo card style games. You know, having my own Archon of Cruelty was pretty cool. And yeah, it was a fun league. I appreciate you watching. And until the next time, have a good one.